$6. That's what the shop down the street charges for a cold brew that costs them at the absolute most about 30 cents to make. And I can prove it because I've been making the exact same thing on my kitchen counter for about 8 months for that same 30 cents, and mine tastes better. Today I'm going to show you how to make cold brew coffee at home that is smoother, less bitter, and less acidic than anything you'll buy in a paper cup, using the cheap bag of coffee you already have, a jar, and water. That's the whole equipment list. If you buy one cold brew a work week, you're handing a coffee shop somewhere around $1,500 a year for something you can produce for the price of a couple of gumballs. The part that genuinely surprised me is coming a little later. There's one variable everybody gets wrong that turns a great batch into a bitter, muddy mess, and it has nothing to do with the coffee you buy. I got it wrong for months. Once I fixed it, I stopped ordering out entirely. Here's the thing nobody explains at the counter while they're charging you the price of a small lunch. Cold brew and iced coffee are not the same drink. Iced coffee is just hot coffee poured over ice, which means it was brewed with heat. Cold brew never touches heat at all. And that single difference is the entire secret, because hot water and cold water pull completely different things out of a coffee bean. When you brew coffee hot, the heat blasts the grounds and yanks out everything at once. The good flavor, sure, but also the bitter compounds and the sharp acids that make your stomach clench and your mouth pucker. It's fast and it's violent. Cold water is patient. It moves slowly, and it only coaxes out the smooth, sweet chocolatey flavors while leaving most of the acid and bitterness locked inside the grounds where they belonged. That's not marketing. That's just chemistry doing you a favor. The result is coffee that's roughly 60 to 70% less acidic, which is why people who swear coffee upsets their stomach can usually drink cold brew without a problem. So the coffee shop isn't selling you a better bean. They're selling you time. Cold brew takes hours to make, and they're charging you $6 for the privilege of not waiting. That's the whole trick. Once you know that, you can never quite unsee it. Let's make it. Start with coffee grounds, and here's your first real lever. Grind them coarse. I mean coarse? Think closer to raw sugar or coarse sea salt than powder. If you grind it fine, like you would for a drip machine, the water pulls out too much too fast, and you circle right back to the bitter mess you were trying to escape. Coarse grind, always. If you're buying pre-ground, ask for a coarse or French press grind, or grab whole beans and pulse them briefly at home. Now the ratio, and this is where you turn 30 cents into something worth $6. You want roughly 1 part coffee to 4 parts water by volume for a concentrate. A simple starting point, 1 cup of coarse grounds to 4 cups of cold water. Dump the grounds into any jar or pitcher, pour the water over them, and give it a gentle stir just to make sure every ground is wet. That's it, no fancy gear. A mason jar works, a clean pitcher works. The container does not care about your feelings or your budget. Cover it, and here's the part that tests your patience. Leave it on the counter at room temperature for 12 to 18 hours. Overnight is perfect. You mix it before bed, and by the time you're fumbling for the kettle in the morning, it's done its quiet work while you slept. Quick pause, since you've stuck around this long and you're clearly the type who'd rather make the thing than pay $6 for it. A free subscribe genuinely helps the channel keep digging up these little swindles, and if you want the recipes I don't post publicly, my channel members get those. That's the whole ask. Now, back to that variable I promised you keep getting wrong, because this is the one that ruins batches. It's the steeping time. Everybody assumes more is better, that if 12 hours is good, then leaving it 2 full days must be spectacular. It is not. Leave cold brew steeping too long, past about the 24-hour mark, and the water finally does start dragging out those bitter compounds it had been politely ignoring. You end up over-extracted, woody, almost sour. So the mistake isn't buying the wrong beans or using the wrong jar, it's greed. It's leaving it in there thinking you're getting a stronger, better drink, when really you've tipped it over the edge. 12 to 18 hours for smooth. Push to 24 if you like it bold. Past that, you're just making a worse drink slowly. Once it's steeped, you strain it, pour the whole thing through a fine mesh strainer to catch the bulk of the grounds, then run it through one more time. This time through a coffee filter or a clean, thin dish towel or even a paper towel laid in the strainer. That second pass is the difference between silky, cold brew and a gritty cup with sludge at the bottom. Don't squeeze the grounds to wring out the last drops, by the way. I know it's tempting. Squeezing forces the bitter stuff back out of the grounds and straight into your finished coffee, which undoes the whole point. Let it drip on its own. Patience, again. Coffee rewards the patient and punishes the rushed, which is annoyingly close to a life lesson. What you're left with is a concentrate. strong, dark, and not meant to be drunk straight unless you have somewhere very important to be at a very high speed. You dilute it, roughly 1 part concentrate to 1 part water or milk over ice. Taste it and adjust to your liking. Want it stronger? Add less water. Want it gentler? Add more. You are now the barista and you work for free. And here's where the money really shows itself. That single batch from 1 cup of grounds makes several servings of concentrate. We're talking a week of cold brews out of a scoop of coffee that costs maybe 30 cents in beans per serving. The concentrate keeps in the fridge, sealed, for up to 2 weeks without losing much of anything. So you make it once, you drink it all week, and you walk past the coffee shop line feeling like you're getting away with something, because you are. A couple of things people ask. Yes, you can use any coffee, but since cold brews is so smooth, a medium or dark roast tends to give you those rich chocolate and caramel notes that make it feel indulgent. Cheap coffee works genuinely well here, because cold brewing hides the harsh edges that make cheap hot coffee taste cheap. It's one of the rare times where the budget option and the premium result live in the same jar. And if you want to feel truly fancy for no extra money, freeze some of your finished cold brew into ice cubes. Then when you pour a glass in, it chills without watering down as the ice melts. Coffee ice cubes and coffee. The shop would charge you extra for that. You get it for the cost of an ice tray and thinking of it first. So that's $6 turned into 30 cents with a drink that's smoother on the way down and easier on your stomach. All it costs you is the patience to wait overnight. The exact same thing the coffee shop was quietly charging you $6 to skip. If this saves you a few bucks a week, pass it to the coffee drinker in your life who needs to hear it. Give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one.